There are people within sim racing who put bread on the table through winning big competitions and bringing home sweet prize money. We all know that by now. But what separates professional sim racers from your average granny? And what can you learn from this and take into your own sim racing routine? That's the question I'll be answering today. Before I give you all the secrets, I think we should take a deep dive into the life of a pro sim racer by visiting the Apex Sim Center in England. This is a house of pro sim racers who live together, race together, and win together.
So as a team, we've had basically an aspiration to go full-time for some drivers so they could become professional sim racers. We basically had a plan to go ahead and do that. That was kind of like a 5-year plan to build that up. I have to say we're obviously now would be the 5 years, so we would only expect to be moving in about now, so 2023.
Everything has gone faster than planned with the Apex Sim Center, which actually represents a trend. Over the last couple of years, sim racing has grown a lot, both in terms of active players, viewer numbers, and prize money. This means that there's no better time to start working on your sim racing skills than today. But it also means that the competition is getting harder and harder, which means that some people are also having to find different ways of bringing in the gold.
There was a massive flux of input into our space. A lot of people really interested, and that allowed us to set up a couple of programs, a couple of partnerships that were actually really beneficial for the team. We quite quickly went from this little 4-man house to having to have this sort of nice big rig center to kind of show off, and also be able to store a whole bunch of sort of virtual racing school stock.
Through my talk with Alex, I figured out that sim racing is growing a lot. Not just for the drivers, but for general business and making a career within sim racing feasible. But that's a topic for another video, so make sure to subscribe. Now, he mentioned something really important that just proved to me that sim racing is doable for everyone who has the passion and the time.
You know, we're a self-made team. As much as we have got obviously partnerships with VRS, everything that you see or that you saw was kind of, it's through our hard work. It's not for any kind of payout or anything like that, or any sponsorships or anything like that.
Just like Apex have gotten themselves heavily involved in pro sim racing, so can you. But I don't think you should underestimate the task that you have at your hands.
So on a daily basis, I'd like to say everyone would put between 4 and 6 hours worth of driving, depending on how close an event is. Yeah, come here, straight in the rig, do a couple hours of driving, then get lunch.
I started iRacing back in 2019, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why I was so slow. I dropped down below 1,000 iRating and kept on dropping until I reached an all-time low of 800 iRating. But today, 4 years later, I've worked myself up to be a way better driver, and I now have over 8,000 iRating, and I race in big competitions on iRacing. I don't often talk about my own story on this channel, but I think it's a good proof that everyone can go from low iRating, being slow, being off pace, to becoming a professional sim racer. I've worked hard for thousands of hours and learned from thousands of mistakes, so I can somewhat answer the question of what it takes to become a pro sim racer, but I'm not quite there yet. Which is why I've brought on Gordy Much to figure out if there's an actual secret to becoming a pro sim racer, and I think you'll be surprised at how simple the answer actually is.
Hi guys, my name's Gordy Much. I'm a racing driver in real life and also in the Sim for Apex racing team. Essentially during lockdown, I got myself a proper sim, got myself on iRacing. And initially I was being absolutely demolished by some really fast guys, and it really annoyed me because I'm competitive, and I decided to take it more seriously and build myself up on the sim. I think the biggest thing is commitment and hard work. I think the faith in yourself that you are able to improve. A lot of pros started at different places. Some started as complete and utter rookies, some dip below 1,000 iRatings. You have some pros that used to be 800, 900 iRating. If you want to be a pro, you have to be very determined to do it, because it means a lot of practice, it means a lot of hours, and it also means looking at everything that you're doing, because you need to look at everything that you're doing and make sure you're doing that to the best ability before you're comparing yourself to other people, because a lot of people do that far too quick. First of all, work on yourself, build yourself to a point where you're ready to start pushing on to the next level. In terms of the mentality required towards racing at a very high level in the sim, you need to be kind of quite resilient and you need to be persistent. You know, of course, racing at that high level in sim is extremely difficult because unlike real life, there's no restraints on budget, there's no restraints on track time. So that means when you do get to that top grid, the most talented drivers in the world are genuinely on that grid. Getting to that top level just requires like a mindset of pure persistence, an obsession to improve and to be the best of your own ability. The biggest thing is just keep trying. Try again. You might not be able to hit the lap time that you want today, but you might be able to hit it tomorrow, but you only know if you try again.
Combine resilience with persistency and showing up every day to the sim with the aim of being better than yesterday, and you're well underway. It's not that different from succeeding in other areas of life, but just like other areas of life, success doesn't come overnight. In all reality, this is a patience game, and I think a good place to start is finding an achievable goal that you can do every single day without getting burned out. Now, the threshold of the amount of time people can use on something before they burn out is different for different people. You might be able to jump in the sim, drive for 6 hours a day for the next year. In that case, I'll see you on the grid. Or you might only be able to drive for half an hour on the sim before this feeling of not wanting to drive anymore kicks in, which is totally fine. However, if you are in this second group, start out by setting small but achievable goals. And when I'm talking about goals, I'm not talking about hitting a specific iRating or getting to a certain pace. I'm talking about internal goals that you can hit every single day if you have the willpower. This can be something as simple as driving 1 more minute today than you did yesterday, and driving 1 more minute tomorrow than what you're doing today. It doesn't matter that much what that goal may be, but what matters is that you choose a goal that you can hit every single day, and then you show up and hit that goal every single day. Since when did I become a motivational speaker? Now that you've got the mindset and you know what it takes to become a professional sim racer, you need to go out on track and find the time. And that's why I've got this video which will help you along the way. I'll see you in the next one.